America's turning 250, and it's time to rock out with our forefathers. American-made, battle-ready style for true patriots. Whether you're marching in the parade, grilling in the backyard, or raising a toast to liberty, do it in the gear that screams freedom. Celebrate 250 years of USA in style. Wear your American pride loud. Trendjackers.etsy.com. Grab yours before the fireworks.
From Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, this is Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. TicketBash.com, where memories are made affordable and where you'll never pay a service fee. TicketBash.com is the best site to go to for NFL playoff tickets, Super Bowl packages, and tickets for the College Football Playoff National Championship game. You can use code HOLIDAY15 for a limited time for 15% off your order. Sports Bash is also presented by Ryan Anthony's Heating and Air Conditioning Service, keeping Long Island warm for over 18 years, serving their customers in Nassau and Suffolk with pride, honesty, and integrity. For more information, visit www.liboilers.com. Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome to this Tuesday edition of Sports Bash. I'm Peter Schwartz. 516-465-3990 is the number to call. It is FOP Day here on the show. That means Friend of Peter. And in just a couple of minutes, I'll be joined by the Islanders' longtime PA announcer and a longtime dear friend of mine. We've been trying to find the day to do this for a long time. We finally were able to make it happen. Alex Anthony is going to be in studio with me in just a few minutes. So we'll get set for that. Meantime, we'll tell you, make sure you're subscribing to Govs Comedy Club podcast channel on YouTube and Facebook, and follow Sports Bash Media on X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also now listen to the show. If you get sick and tired of looking at me, you could just listen to the show on Apple Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Again, coming up on the show in just a couple of minutes, Alex Anthony will join me. We'll also have later in the show Sports Bash Media's poll question of the day. We'll have what's hot at TicketBash.com, and we'll have the Coaches Collectibles item of the week. It is now time for the Sports Bash Flash, and it's brought to us today by the Marty Lyons Foundation, granting wishes for more than 43 years. For more information, visit martylyonsfoundation.org. And we'll start with NFL Wildcard Weekend coming to an end last night in Pittsburgh. The Texans hammered the Steelers 30-6. Texans running back Woody Marks rushing for 112 yards and a touchdown. If this was the last game for Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, his last pass was a pick six. So does this loss affect his decision as to whether or not he retires?
No, I mean, I'm not going to make any emotional decisions. Disappointed, obviously, such a fun year. A lot of adversity, but a lot of fun. Been a great year, overall in my life in the last year, and this is, a really good part of that, coming here and being a part of this team. So it's disappointing to be sitting here with the season over.
The former Jet threw for 146 yards and that interception. Now to hockey, we'll start with the Rangers losing to the Wild 4-2, a game that they led 2-0 at the Garden. Mika Zibanejad had one of the goals. He sums up the loss.
It's tough, obviously, especially getting that start that we got and getting ourselves a 2-goal lead. It stings, obviously. It's not fun to lose. It's trying to look for answers, trying to find answers, and try to just maybe it doesn't look at times. I understand that, but try to do everything we can to try to get.
Zibanejad, as I mentioned, had one of the goals for the Rangers, who now dropped to 20-21-6, and we thank SNY for that video of Mika Zibanejad. The Devils beat the Wild 5-2. Basketball, the Nets lost to the Mavericks 113-105. Tonight, the Islanders are in Winnipeg. St. John's will host Marquette at the Garden. And earlier today, we found out the Long Island Ducks have signed veteran outfielder Jacob Robson to a contract. He last played in the major leagues with the Tigers in 2021. And that's what's happening. The Sports Bash Flash is presented by the Marty Lyons Foundation. And as I mentioned earlier, it is FOP Day here on Sports Bash, and that means Friend of Peter, and we have had a long list of very impressive names who have been friends of Peter, sitting in with me for the entire show to co-host. We had former CBS 2 news anchor Andrea Grimes was in here. We had Amy McGorry from Newsday TV was in here. Think of all the who else do we have in here? Colin Cosell was in here. A long laundry list of people who have been here, friends of mine who are in the entertainment field, sports or whatever. They come in and they sit with me and they deal with my nonsense for an hour. And today is a day that we welcome in my good friend for a long time and the longtime public address announcer for the New York Islanders, Mr. Alex Anthony. Alex, welcome to Sports Bash.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be on Peter Schwartz's show. Awesome.
Yes, you can talk sports with Schwartz here today for just about an hour. We go back a long way. It's like I bring friends of Peter in to do the show, and we marvel about how long we have actually known each other. And for us, it goes back to we were kind of thinking about this before we went on the air, but I think we first met at the New York Dragons in 2001, right?
That was 2001. That was that very first season. And, that's an interesting time, because that indoor football league was a lot of fun, a lot of action, a lot of PA, a lot of talking.
Yes.
So
you earned your money at those games because there was a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, yeah. It was frequent PA throughout the game, cheering on, let's go Dragons defense, doing all that stuff. But I was exhausted. I needed a quart of oil at the end of the game. I really did.
So you did the PA, and I was the radio announcer. But what I also did, and you'll remember this, was we did this feature on the Jumbotron where I did this like AFL 101 kind of thing where I voiced over, like, because indoor football, arena football is a lot different than the NFL or outdoor college football. So we wanted to try and educate the fans as to how different the game was. The one rule was, it's in the NFL it's 11-on-11, in indoor football it's 8-on-8. My favorite one that I did, and I don't know if you remember this, but we did this way. Rule number, we made up the numbers. Rule number 67: if the ball goes out of bounds into the crowd, you're welcome to keep it. However, if a player flips over the boards and lands on your feet, on your lap, you have to throw the player back.
I think you did several of those.
Yeah,
That one, I don't remember.
You don't
that
remember that one? It was the best one.
But yeah, that one I particularly don't remember that one. But yeah, I know the crowd usually threw the ball back if it went into the crowd. But if the
you
player,
were supposed to keep it.
yeah, but oh yes, that's right. You could keep
You
it.
could
but
keep the ball if it went in. That was a lot of leather that went in the stands.
I did notice a couple of fans did throw the ball back, or if it landed in our area, I threw
Right.
it back or whatever it was.
You didn't get to keep one?
No.
We got
never,
a few in the house.
You got a few. I never.
We got a few.
I
I got a closet full of jerseys, too.
I got a couple of bobbleheads.
A couple of bobbleheads.
Yeah.
Aaron Garcia.
Yeah, I got 2 of those.
There was, not too long ago, a few years ago, I'm not going to mention who it was, but a former Dragons employee. I'll just call him the New York Dragons angel, whatever they want to say. And he dropped off this large bag of stuff. He called me up and he said, I got some stuff for you. I said, because he was, doing some cleaning, and he goes, I don't need this. I know you're going to appreciate it, because as people know, who know me, I always said my 8 years with the Dragons was the best job that I ever had. He dropped off this large bag. I'm like, I don't even know what's in there. Filled with jerseys. Filled with jerseys from the Dragons, filled with jerseys from other arena football teams. I don't know how this guy got a hold of them, but this big, giant bag of jerseys, and he immediately went in the wash, because who knows the last time that they were worn or anything like that. And of course, Bradley and Jared are fighting over it. They're falling over the bag like, I want that one. I want that one. Dad's keeping the Aaron Garcia one that's in there. That one is mine. Even though it doesn't fit me, you got to call a lot of, just like myself, got to call a lot of touchdown passes by Aaron Garcia. That was fun.
Oh yeah, the scores were high too. I think one game it had to be 56-49 or whatever. That
Well, there was the game 99-68. Remember the 99?
99 points. Yes, I remember that one.
Up until recently, that was a record, because I think Albany just broke that record and got over 100 points in a game. I think it was last season or the season before. But yeah, 99 points against the Carolina Cobras.
Carolina, that was the game. Okay, so I have all my scripts.
You have all of them.
Every event, every venue that I've done, I've saved all the scripts. They're in a storage room and bins and stuff like that. So I'd have to go back and look at those Dragon
See,
scripts.
I would like to see that. If you found the one from the 99, because the first year, I didn't do radio until the playoff game, because there was no live TV. Okay. I was the press box announcer. So I did, like you were the PA announcer for the whole arena. Mm-hmm. I did the announcing inside the press box. So when there was a touchdown, maybe it was before, maybe it was after you made the call, I did it officially inside, because I had a stats person sitting right next to me. Right. So, but that was a lot of fun. We had some good times with those teams. They won a lot of games. They scored a lot of points. We had some. Remember the playoff game when Ian Halfield kicked the field goal and sent us to the next round?
Yes.
And by the way, we do have he's not on camera because he's bashful, but we do have a special guest that you brought along with you, Charlie Nass, who is a longtime Islanders equipment manager, and he was equipment manager for the Dragons. He's here with us, and every time I mention something, he keeps nodding his head, because he remembers it just like I do.
Well, we go back a long way as well.
All the way, the three of us. And by the way, and Charlie, I do have to say, has always been great to my kids, because every time my kids we would get to an Islander game early, and they would go down and watch warm-ups from right by the glass, and Charlie would also always see them, and that's Bradley and Jared, and he would always toss them a puck right over the glass. So thank you very much for that. We have to have 1 million pucks in the house, so my wife really wants to thank you for that as well. Let's talk about the Islanders. That's why we brought you here today. Right. I wanted to get the small talk Dragon stuff out of the way. It's been a long time since you became the Islanders PA announcer, and you've seen a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but overall, to be in front of that microphone for all these years and being able to announce Islanders hockey to the people, whether it was at the Coliseum, whether it was at Barclays Center, or now at UBS Arena, dream job all these years for you to be able to do that?
I have to say, growing up, Peter, big Islanders fan, and to get that job, yes, it is a dream job. And initially, I worked at radio stations, WLIR, KJOY Radio, 92.7, 98.3, and I got a tryout in 1995 to be the Islanders PA announcer. I was bugging my friend Tim at the time. I said, "Listen, are you trying out for this, or I need to try out for this? I think I can do this." I imitated the old PA announcers, and friends of mine had said, "You got to go try out for this." So I did. I got the job. And my first official Islanders game was October 14th, 1995, against the Philadelphia Flyers. It was a 3-0 loss, and
I think also was the debut of the Fisherman jersey, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and I brought along the official roster and script from that very first official
hold that
game.
up. Tony, can we get a shot of this if Alex holds it up? Absolutely. Tony Walker, my producer and the host of the Knock 'em Dead comedy show from 11 to 12:30 weekdays here at Governor's. Okay. How about that? Look at the... Hang on. Oh, no.
We see it a little bit.
Oh, there we go. Tony's getting it into focus right now.
Okay.
And how about this? It was the first game with that very, very controversial Fisherman logo, and you got news release, Islanders versus Flyers, October 14th, 1995. And who are the Islander goalies? Without looking? Oh, without looking.
Okay, I didn't look, but
they
I
both
think
have the same first name.
I think it's Tommy Soderstrom and Tommy Salo.
Tommy Salo, yes, absolutely. Both Tommies. And let me just take a look. Dean Chenoweth, Brian McCabe, who eventually would become the captain, of course, Ziggy Palffy. Oh, my God, so many great names. But that team wasn't very good, though.
But that was my first experience doing PA, and one of my favorite names to announce at that time was Zygmunt Palffy.
Zygmunt Palffy.
I think he was 16 and then 68, or was it reversed? I'm not sure. But he was
68.
Yeah, 68.
So that was your first ever PA? Like you had not dabbled in it before? Everything was just radio, music stuff? You had never done a sports PA job before?
Never done sports PA jobs. I did a couple of preseason games, but those don't really count. But this was the official first
Launch.
Islander game in my career. So 30 years ago, I've been on and off really with the organization, probably about 20 of the 30 seasons doing announcing, whether it be backup or full time. So, definitely a dream job. And then I had friends of mine telling me like, "Wow, we heard you at the game. This was great," and it made me feel good because I appreciate them appreciating my work. We're masters of our own craft.
Yeah. So anytime you do something for the first time, it's obviously there's a transition. If you're doing something with your voice one way, now you're doing it another way. It's a different role. What was your preparation like to get ready to be a hockey PA announcer? Because it's not like there's no textbook for it. You have to probably listen to how other people did it. Maybe you took a little nuance from some of the other Islander PA announcers. How did you get prepared for that?
Well, looking at the scripts, there wasn't much to read during the games as there is now with all the interactive stuff we do. Although we have hosts at UBS Arena that do that, but I do mostly the hockey announcements and the penalties and the goals and some sales announcements, some pre and post game announcements as well as intermission announcements. So looking at the script, it comes from radio too. After reading all the commercials and doing that, so I took some of that experience and put it into PA. And the goal for PA really is to just listen to direction. And listen for your cues. And I've learned the 4 C's from a very prominent PA announcer who I met, the late Bob Shepard.
Yes.
So when I met him in 2003, he said, "Alex, I have to tell you, you have to follow 4 C's when you turn on a public address microphone. 1, you have to be confident. And then you have to be clear, concise, and correct. You follow those 4 guidelines as a PA announcer or a public speaker, you will be successful."
Now, you're a Met guy. What did it mean to have that kind of conversation with Bob Shepard?
Well, it was baseball at the time, and he was just iconic for any team. So met him in spring training of all places in Florida, and it was fun to meet him. And his theatrical approach to PA was a little different and unique than other PA announcers. But I thought it was kind of cool just to meet him and get that advice from him. And I took that advice and ran with it, and here I am today.
I used to see him obviously, covering the Yankees for a variety of places. I used to see him all the time, and he was just such a gentleman and. We miss him so much. And for me as a Yankee fan growing up, I mean, that's the voice that I grew up with. And I would always see him, whether it was in the press room for dinner before the game or see him in the press boxes at the old and the new Yankee Stadium. There was a couple of things about him. I'm sure you'll appreciate this. So I got to a Yankee game a little bit later than I normally did and go put my stuff down in the room. Now I go to grab something to eat. The press lounge at Yankee Stadium is packed. There's not a seat to be found in the press room. I've got my tray with my food and everything like that. I have nowhere to sit. Now, if you've ever been in the press lounge at the old Yankee Stadium, you'll know there was a round table. As soon as you walked in on the right-hand side, a round table, and there was always a sign on there, reserved for Bob Shepard, right? So I'm walking around, and Bob Shepard is sitting at that table by himself. I wouldn't dare say, is anybody sitting here, right?
Right.
And I'm walking around, and all of a sudden, he must have seen me walk around the room 5 times. Finally, I walk back by the table, and he's like, young man, have a seat. Eat your dinner right here. And like it was just like so cool. And I'm having dinner with Bob Shepard. That was unbelievable. That's the kind of guy that he was.
You know, that's interesting because I can relate to that with my first year at the Islanders. It wasn't Bob Shepard there, but it was Eddie Layton.
Eddie Layton.
The organist.
Yes.
And he was sitting alone in the press room upstairs, and he, have a seat, young man, have a seat, young man. So everybody, was just introduced to everybody that that worked on the off-ice crew and at the Islanders office and all that. And they were very welcoming, and they were kind of excited to know that somebody that works at WLIR or WDRE radio is our PA announcer now, because I was only 23 years old,
Yeah.
Peter, and already at 23 I was doing Islanders public address and working at a kind of a major radio station on the island.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool because I went to Adelphi University. I played baseball for 4 years, wanted to get drafted to the major leagues. That didn't happen, so I needed
What position
something.
did you play?
Center field.
Center
And
field? See, I
mostly
didn't know this about Alex until just now.
Mostly right field, though.
Mostly right
Center
field.
field was on and off, but mostly right field, I should say. But
Who was your favorite player growing up? Who was like, I'm going to be like this guy?
Two of my favorite players, I had to say, Gary Carter,
Yeah, my wife's favorite player. May he
the
rest
kid,
in peace.
and I was very upset when he passed. I think it was 2014. 2012? Was it 2012?
Tony's our resident Mets fan.
Tony
Yeah, he
knows.
corrects me
Okay.
on everything I get wrong about the Mets.
And Don Mattingly.
Yeah.
Don Mattingly was because my brothers were Yankee fans as
Uh-huh.
well. So, but that's growing up. With the baseball side, with hockey, it was always Islanders.
Yeah.
And my cousins were that other team's fan. So it's
Right.
We had some battles here and there, but growing up, it was kind of cool to play roller hockey, ice hockey. But getting back to Adelphi, I wanted to be a baseball player, but that didn't happen. I needed something to fall back on, so I got into communications and radio and public address announcing.
When I think of your run with the Islanders, there's a number of things that come to mind, but the thing that initially pops into my mind is the 2021 playoff run. We had just come back from the pandemic. We went most of that season. We're going through nobody in the stands. That had to be weird.
That was awkward.
That was awkward, right? Because here's the other thing too is, and I was going to ask this later, but to preface not having people in the stands, and someone like myself who has done PA for a number of different teams and colleges and sports.
Right.
The cool thing, tell me if you feel the same way, because you've done it on the biggest of stages. You announce something, and it's cool to hear the fans' reaction. Like, I know you have the headset on, like sometimes you have a headset, sometimes you don't. But it's always, for me, doing PA. It's like, and I did the Cosmos. It was really cool doing the Cosmos at Hofstra, because they had, a very, very passionate fan base. Cosmo's goal was scored by number 4, Carlos Mendez. And for a split second, I don't think about talking again. I want to hear the fans. Did I make an impression on them? Did I say it with enough oomph that I got 7,000 or 8,000 people? Does that ever come across your mind? Like when you're announcing an Islanders goal, and then all of a sudden now you're announcing the goal in front of nobody. What's it like hearing the crowd hear you announce the goal, and how weird was it when there was nobody there to cheer for it?
Well, first of all, it was very awkward when nobody's there because doing PA, you hear your voice differently in an empty arena as opposed to a full arena. Now, at the Coliseum, we were there. We were put behind the net. Then we were put in section 211 and then all the way to the right. So from a PA standpoint, it sounds different in the arena.
Yeah.
So announcing to no fans and not hearing a reaction was very, very awkward.
Yeah.
But when the stadium is full, when the arena is full, I get such a thrill when the fans react to my announcements. I'm sure PA announcers all over the place will, vouch for me with that. And I kind of pause after the goal scored, and then assisted by, so and so and so and so, time of the goal, and we repeat the goal and everything. But the fans, especially this year with who's your favorite player to announce? People ask me. I don't know if you were going to ask me that question.
I was going to announce it later, but as long as you're bringing it up, let's do it now.
Yeah. So a lot of fans or friends of mine ask me who's your favorite player. So this year, there are a couple of players, but one guy, the rookie Schaefer, Matthew Schaefer stands out.
You're going to get a loud pop every time you mention his. Unless you're calling a penalty on him, you're going to get a loud pop.
But that's the thing when I'm announcing his name. And it's leading up to the final announcement and completing his name. You can hear the crowd sort of cheering. And that, scored by number 48. And I bring it out, Matthew Schaefer, just like that. And you'll hear that in the arena, hopefully some more times. And it's a thrill, part of the PA job is the thrill you get from announcing the names.
Yeah.
And getting the crowd excited. And military heroes that are recognized, that are in the script, that's always a big cheer from a crowd. Or we recognize somebody at a ceremonial puck drop. This is all in the script that I look over and I prepare and I make sure everything is grammatically correct before I deliver it over the PA system. So that's the clear, concise, and correct part of public address announcing.
The point that I was going to ultimately get to, and I said, when I think of your run as Islanders PA announcer, and there's so many memorable goals that you've called, and Ovechkin last year breaking the record is with you being able to administer that at UBS Arena. But I think of the night during the 2021 playoffs when the girl is singing the national anthem and the microphone goes out on her, and everybody in the Coliseum, now 13,000 people, are singing the national anthem. And it became a staple for you after that, where you started to tell people, and now let's join together. How did that all come about? Was it solely because of the microphone cutting out? What was that discussion like in making that part of Islanders tradition?
I just, I don't know who really made that decision. All I know is that I came in one day after that, and it said in my script, let's all sing together our national anthem, to be performed by whoever was doing the anthem that day. And so it became a little tradition. So the anthem singers that were there, they started the first couple of lines, and then the crowd just joined in, and it was so uplifting.
Magical. It was magical. It really, I had goosebumps sitting in the press box.
Oh, yeah, I did too. I mean, it was going right through me. Like I felt, wow, this is really exciting, and I'm getting a charge of energy here, and we're going to win this game tonight.
Absolutely. Before we go to break, because we're a little late for the break, announce an Islanders goal scored by me, assisted by Tony Walker.
New York Islanders goal, his 6th of the season, scored by number 98.5, Peter Schwartz. Assisted by number 10, Tony Walker. Time of the goal, 10:23.
That was awesome. Alex Anthony, the Islanders public address announcer, my FOP, friend of Peter for today. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Alex on his career with the Islanders, and we'll get into some other things that he's done with his voice when we come back right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage.
In 1982, the Marty Lyons Foundation began with a single heartfelt mission: to bring moments of joy and hope to critically ill children by granting wishes that make their dreams come true. Since that day, we have touched the lives of over 8,600 families, raising over $44 million to grant wishes that offer a beacon of light in their darkest times. These precious wishes cost an average of $7,100 each. And your support is crucial to our mission. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. And with 84 cents of every dollar going directly to supporting our families, you can rest assured your support truly changes lives. The Morty Lions Foundation operates 11 chapters in 14 states now, working tirelessly to reach as many children as we can. This dedication goes hand in hand with our commitment to transparency and accountability, earning us top ratings on Charity Navigator, Great Nonprofits, and Candid, which underscores our dedication to those we serve. The Marty Lyons Foundation grants wishes to children ages 3 to 17. And what really makes this foundation so special is our willingness to grant not only a first wish, but also consider a second wish to a child who continues to battle a life-threatening illness. We stand by these children, offering them hope and strength through the power of dreams, giving our children the courage to wish for more.
What's your purpose in life? Is your purpose in life to live in the big house and drive the nice car? No. Your purpose in this life is to make it a little bit better for those that follow and realize that we live for today to see a better tomorrow.
Visit MartyLyonsFoundation.org to learn more and get involved.
Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com and the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. Peter Schwartz with you. 516-465-3990 is the number to call. My FOP friend of Peter, co-host for the day, is longtime Islanders public address announcer and dear friend of mine, Alex Anthony. We are going to go to the phone line in just a second, but before we go to the phone line, you brought up something interesting. I wanted to tackle it. I kind of touched on this before because you go to the games, you work the games, whether you are working for the team or you're covering the game, and you always enjoy a nice meal in the press room. Whether it's an Islander game, I've covered everything in this market. What does Alex Anthony, the PA announcer, like to nibble on before the game? What can you nibble on? What will make it easy for you to spend 3 hours in front of the microphone without it causing a problem?
Well, first of all, I don't really in the press room. I don't eat in the press room.
Yeah.
I eat before at home, and I usually have like a turkey sandwich or something with energy, for the day, or an energy bar or protein bar.
For me, it's a big gulp.
Yeah, a big gulp. When I was a kid, I used to have big gulps. I had about 20 of those a day at 7-Eleven there. But as far as beverage, I love my coffee, and here it is right here. I'm drinking a black coffee right now.
Oh, speaking of which, I brought a drink for me, and speaking of big gulp, it's not a big gulp, but it's my Diet Pepsi. So why don't we do this? We'll do a little toast.
Okay, a little toast.
To friendship and PA announcing. There you go. On that note, let's go to the phone lines at 516-465-3990. Josh is on Long Island. Josh, you're up first today as a phone caller here on Sports Bash.
The only way to be, right? The only way to be.
There
Number
you go.
one.
If you're not first, you're last.
Exactly.
Somebody famous once said that.
Good to talk to you guys. And as Peter and Tony know, I'm a big fan of Sports Bash. And I just want to – I have two questions that I'd like to ask Alex. But before I do that, Alex, I don't know if you know this or not, a little tidbit, but you are sitting next to the public address announcer for the American Soccer Club. I know that probably makes you feel inferior that you haven't reached that pinnacle of your career yet. I just first off, Alex.
I'm sure Alex is shaking in his boots over hearing that.
I'm sure he is.
I'm a soccer fan.
Your days are numbered.
I love soccer. I love it.
But I thought that your predecessor, Roger Luce, famed VJ DJ from BAB, I thought he was phenomenal. And when he stepped away, I believe you were the next successor. I didn't think anyone could do as good of a job as he did. And you have matched, if not exceeded, what he did. And I think that that's a huge compliment for you, because I think Roger did a good job with the Islanders, did a good job with the Saints. And I think coming into that situation for you, whether you were directly after him or shortly thereafter. I think those are big shoes to fill, and so I give you that as a compliment because I think you've really earned that moniker of the Islanders PA announcer. So kudos on that.
I appreciate that, Josh. Thank you. Roger's a personal friend of mine. He's a great man. And it's weird because I started first, and then he took over, and then I took over. He got busy. We, talked with each other, and, he's a real great professional friend that I know and a personal friend. So
and a great DJ, too, on the morning show on WBAB.
Yeah, good man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I didn't know the chronological. When I started watching the Islanders, he was the guy. So either here nor there in my mind. So I have two questions for you.
Sure.
And it might be as simple as we just moved upstairs, but I'm just curious if there's more to it. Now that, it's crazy to say this, that COVID is coming up on its 6-year anniversary, which is crazy because it doesn't feel that long ago. But are there any changes other than you used to be crammed in the scorer's box, and now I believe you're up top in the press box? Were there any other changes that came about for the profession or for specifically you at the Jets or the Islanders?
Well, at the Islanders, we, yes, I announced the games in between the penalty boxes, and that was fun. You hear the players banter left and right, and we made jokes with the off-ice officials. But I wear a headset, which I'm now upstairs on the headset to the off-ice officials who give me the goals, and the penalty announcements are done by the referee. But after COVID, they moved all the PA announcers upstairs to separate, and a lot of my PA announcer friends, my brethren of other teams, have moved up as well. PA guys I know from Toronto, Vancouver, the Rangers, and the Devils, and a couple of other teams that I got friendly with. It's a different perspective, but I got comfortable with it now because I can see my director and not have traffic on my headset, and just make the announcements, on time. Not that we missed anything, but it's a little more easier to, just look at my director and say, okay, go item 16, read item 16, go, and go PA. So it's a little easier now, and
you're surrounded by all those greats that are next to you up there in the box. You've got Vito that's up there, and the DJ, and all those guys. I mean, you're surrounded by greatness up there.
Great staff we work with.
Awesome. Next question. I think that hockey announcers have the hardest job with respect to the last name pronunciation. I think basketball is starting to get up there a little bit, but I think hockey and the European flair. Have you ever made a mistake with names, and how do you properly prep for the names?
And Josh, thank you very much for the phone call.
Well, for names, I don't think I've ever made a blatant mistake with names because I have to be clear, concise, and correct.
There you
and
go.
I
You got to
them.
follow what Bob Shepard told you to do.
Right, and I study those names. I ask the PR department, how do you pronounce this name? So I've never really announced a wrong name for a goal or whatever because you have to pay attention. It's detail-oriented. The concentration level is so high that, if you get it wrong these days, social media, everybody's going to know about it instantly.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So you really have to, pay attention and do the best job you can. And I can honestly say I've never really made a mistake by announcing a wrong name. Now, we're human. Sometimes you stumble on a word, on a script or whatever, and you go by it real quickly, and that's what happens.
Yeah, we sweep that under the
We
script.
sweep it under the rug.
Under the script.
Yeah, that's
sweep it under the script. Josh, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Take care. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Josh.
I love it when I do some Long Island Ducks public address announcing, which is fantastic. I've been going to games there since the place opened up, and when they brought me on a few years ago to be a fill-in, not the regular person, but I fill in. I do like a game or two a month, or depending on how the schedule shakes out. And there's some teams in the Atlantic League that bring a broadcaster with them. And the first thing you do after the meeting with the promotion staff before the game is I go to seek out first the Ducks, PR guy, Michael Pollock, and any players that were added since the last time I did a game. We go over the pronunciations. Now I've got to go and find, because usually the radio broadcaster in minor league baseball is also the PR guy. So if anybody's going to know how to pronounce the other team's names, it's going to be that guy, right?
Yes.
So there's a night, and they don't have radio. There's nobody traveling. The only people traveling from that team were the coaches and the players. Well, sure enough, some pitcher comes into the game, some fakakta name, and I announce it. I butchered it.
Yeah.
To no end, I butchered this guy's name. Don't you think the freaking manager finds a Ducks representative in the stands? Tell that PA announcer he messed up the name. I'm like, well, you don't have anybody here.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to get it correct?
You got to try your best and go with it.
Sometimes I've nailed it when it's been questionable. If there's no pronunciation, those pronunciation guides are a godsend, aren't they?
They are. And I'll tell you this, too. Sometimes what I found in hockey is some players change the pronunciation of their names mid-season or the next year. Like Connor Sherry or Connor Sheary or who was the player? Sakura.
Peter Sakura for the Devils.
Well, there was Sakura for the Devils, but I think there was Andre Sekera for the Sabres at the time.
Okay.
Andre Sakura, Andre Sekera, whatever it was, they changed it year after year. Now there was another one too. Is it Brad Marchand or Marchand?
Yeah.
So I asked the Boston Bruins announcers at that time, I think it was Andy Brickley and Jack Edwards, and he said, just go with Marchand. I said, oh, okay, so
You're
Marchand.
looking for some hockey tickets?
Yeah, exactly. So I have to know, I want to know how does the player want his name introduced, because it's an important part of my job. You're a public address announcer, you have to get it correct. People are going to start saying things if you start pronouncing it wrong. So sometimes people come up to me and say, well, you know what? That was not the pronunciation. I said, that's what I was given, and I'm following direction. And as a PA announcer, you have to follow direction. You can't make up stuff. You have to stick to the script, just do what the director tells you, and that's it. And you have to read it to time, too, because we have commercial breaks. So,
I mentioned before my memory of 2021 with you with the with the anthem singer. When you think of your time with the Islanders, give me, I know probably Ovechkin's going to be on there, too. But give me a moment or two, a goal announcement, a moment that sticks out in your mind from the Islanders over your time at the PA mic.
Well, Peter, I mean, there are very many moments, I would say. Yeah, the Beauvillier goal that he scored.
That was awesome. That was
and then
good.
the fans are throwing stuff on the ice, and Cal Clutterbuck is kind of fending off bottles that are thrown at him, and they're throwing stuff on the ice. We just won, and the fans are throwing stuff. I didn't get it, but it was kind of cool to announce that goal.
And that was the last goal in the Coliseum because we didn't know at that point what was going to happen in Game 7, and that wound up being the last game in the Coliseum.
Exactly. That was an exciting goal to announce. And just my very first season announcing Ziggy Palfme's name, like I said. And my first Islander goal, I think it was the next home game after that in 1995. And, it was a little different approach. Back then it was Islanders goal, his 10th of the season. Now it's, New York Islanders goal. We kind of changed the announcement a little bit over the years. But my voice actually, has changed. As you grow older, your voice gets a little deeper and, you try to,
right.
You don't want to fake it and be like, hey, fans, welcome to, you got to, speak to a tone, a natural tone to the fans and everything. And, again, just the excitement of hearing the fans when you're announcing a goal. And again, you really have to just pay attention to the script and speed up if they want you to speed up or slow down if they want you to slow down.
Oh, I've been yelled at for that too. You got to go fast. With the Cosmos, I'm giving the lineup, and they're like, you got to speed it up. And then I go fast, and they slow down. Well, tell me what to do at the beginning of it.
Well, it's a timing issue. It's a timing thing too. We want to, drop the puck on time. We want to get everything in there, as much information as we can in so little time, or vice versa. But for PA announcing, it's kind of advanced in the field a little bit. We do have hosts that do a great job.
Syke and Sophia, they do a wonderful job.
Wonderful. They do all of the pregame prep and the interactive games, and they deliver it so great that the fans love it too, and the fans love them, and we love each other, and we all work together, and it's just a pleasurable staff to work with over there, and I'm very honored to be the Islanders public address announcer.
So, in addition to hockey, I mean, you've done other sports over the years, but I think most people recognize you from the Islanders because it's current and the team is doing so well right now. Is it the most enjoyable you've had as a PA announcer is doing the Islanders?
I would say yes, because it was my first job.
Yeah.
And I was a hockey fan growing up. I watched hockey first, and then some other sports, here and there, and So being the Islanders PA was a dream come true back in 1995 at a very young age, like I mentioned before, 23 years old, and working at a major radio station at that time. So it was a thrill. My friends got a thrill. And the story before that, before I became the PA announcer, I had season tickets up in section 336 with some dear friends. And then I told them the next season, I'm not renewing my tickets. What do you mean you're not renewing your tickets? I'm going to be here for every game, but not in the seats. I'll be down there announcing, no way, this is great.
It's kind of like in the movie Invincible.
Oh, yeah.
Where the guy is in the stands at the Eagles games with his friends and he becomes an Eagle.
Yes, he does.
So you went from sitting in the stands to being the announcer.
Who was that, Vince Papale?
Vince Papale, yeah. What a great movie that was.
Great movie, yeah.
We have some fun coming up in the last segment. We do a bunch of different things, and I want you to be part of it. We're also going to talk about a couple other things because you got a musical background as well.
Yes.
And we'll hit on all of that when we come back for the final segment of Sports Bash right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage.
In 1982, the Marty Lyons Foundation began with a single heartfelt mission: to bring moments of joy and hope to critically ill children by granting wishes that make their dreams come true. Since that day, we have touched the lives of over 8,600 families, raising over $44 million to grant wishes that offer a beacon of light in their darkest times. These precious wishes cost an average of $7,100 each. And your support is crucial to our mission. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. And with 84 cents of every dollar going directly to supporting our families, you can rest assured your support truly changes lives. The Marty Lyons Foundation operates 11 chapters in 14 states now, working tirelessly to reach as many children as we can. This dedication goes hand in hand with our commitment to transparency and accountability, earning us top ratings on Charity Navigator, Great Nonprofits, and Candid, which underscores our dedication to those we serve. The Marty Lyons Foundation grants wishes to children ages 3 to 17. And what really makes this foundation so special is our willingness to grant not only a first wish, but also consider a second wish to a child who continues to battle a life-threatening illness. We stand by these children, offering them hope and strength through the power of dreams, giving our children the courage to wish for more.
What's your purpose in life? Is your purpose in life to live in the big house and drive the nice car? No. Your purpose in this life is to make it a little bit better for those that follow and realize that we live for today to see a better tomorrow.
Visit MartyLyonsFoundation.org to learn more and get involved.
Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com and the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. I'm Peter Schwartz, Islanders PA announcer. Alex Anthony is my FOP Friend of Peter co-host today. We got some elements to get to, but before we get to that, I would be remiss, as part of our long-standing friendship, I would be remiss if I didn't thank you for being part of the reason why I'm married with 2 kids right now. And this is emotional for both of us because there was a night where you were doing PA announcing for an event that I was covering as well. And you introduced me to a friend of yours, and his name was Terry Hensley. And he knew who I was from my ESPN radio stuff and things like that. And I gave him a couple of my business cards. And during that conversation... and you remember this, right? You remember
yes,
this?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he, during this conversation, he brings up that he knew somebody that I went to high school with, my current wife, they'd say current, like I'm not going to get married again. Well, I'm going to hear about that when I get home.
Oh my!
Oh, Jesus! Talk about putting my foot in my mouth. My wife Cheryl was friends with Terry, and it just, as fate would have it, a couple of days later, I ran into Cheryl going into a Mets game at Shea Stadium. So because of you introducing me to Terry and giving my business card to him to give to Cheryl, it played a major role in the fact that I'm a part of a family of 4 today.
That's right. Yeah.
Terry was a very good man.
Oh,
he was a really good man. Because he became your spotter at Dragons games. I know he was a dear friend, but you were also in a band with him too. And me and Cheryl came to see you guys play a few times. What was that like, playing with Terry in that band and working with him at games?
Well, Terry, a little bit older than me. I think he was 10 or 11 years older than me. He knew me when I was a little kid. When they used to play baseball in the local park, and when I grew up in Garden City, I used to take the baseballs and throw them down the sewer. And they got a little mad at me at that time. They'd ring the doorbell. You know what your son did? Okay, whatever. But then I became friendly with Terry through his cousins growing up in Garden City there. So we were all the GC crew back then. And so in 2003, his cousin Keith asked me, he said, hey, we're doing a band and we're going to name it Pop Rocks, Poproxx.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like the candy, but with a different spelling there, I guess. But we did 70s, 80s, and 90s, and Terry was the bass player, and he was great.
Yeah.
And his LTD bass, his silver bass, was given to me by his wife, and also his Jasmine guitar. She gave me the Jasmine guitar. So I have those in my apartment now, and they're just sacred items for me. Every time I look at them, I think of Terry. But for music, for me, being a lead singer in bands and imitating singers and doing stuff was so enjoyable, and performing in front of your friends.
Yeah.
And, being a music guy growing up, my father was in the music business. He sung with a lot of oldies artists and stuff like that, and got me into music at a very early age. I've got cassette tapes of me singing Beatles songs, oldies songs at 5, 6 years old.
Well, you impersonated, over the years, you've made me pee in my pants laughing, impersonating sportscasters, other PA announcers, and things like that. And how different is that, trying to capture somebody's voice speaking, and now you're trying to be Bon Jovi, you're trying to be Billy Joel, you're trying to be one of these other. What's that like, trying to capture the same kind of nuances that those singers have?
It's weird because you have to have a good ear for things, and many people in the music industry have great ears where they can imitate singers and do stuff. You put on like the Bon Jovi, like the hell, tell me he's doing or Billy Joel is don't go changing, try to please me. Do all these impersonations as best as you can. It's like character singing.
Do you have a favorite?
There are many, many favorites. I can't pinpoint one. There's just so many that I can do, and we don't have enough time for it. But going up there in rehearsals, we've done like the 70s, 80s, and 90s band. We did Grand Funk Railroad. We did Radiohead. We did Squeeze. We did Erasure. We did a variety of stuff. And just talking with the band members of different bands, the 80s band, they came up to me and they said, can you sing this song? Do you know this song? Do you know that song? Yes. And we had a female singer as well, so we would sing harmony together and everything, and play a lot of gigs all over Long Island. And sometimes I get called to fill in for some events, and a lot of band members. I know a lot of musicians now on Long Island, and even in the city. So if they ask me to fill in the night before, do you know this song, that song? Yeah, I could probably pull it off.
Growing up on Long Island, is it ever strange doing Billy Joel, or do you look at it as a compliment, as a pretty cool thing? And was he one of your favorites growing up?
Yeah, sure. Everybody on Long Island loved Billy Joel, and still to this day, I met him 3 or 4 times. Very nice guy.
Got to do something. I met him once briefly when they were announcing the last play at Shea.
Yeah, that was great.
And I went to that press conference. I didn't even get to go to the concert, but I went to the press conference, and I got to meet him briefly. But I would love, like, he's like a bucket list, like, interview to sit down and do.
Yeah, I took photos with him, and we had a little pre-show Q&A that we were going to play on either... I think it was the video board or something for the last play there, and it was fun meeting him because I told him I sing in bands and I do 3 of your songs, like 3 of the Billy Joel songs that we did were "You May Be Right," "Sometimes a Fantasy."
Oh, I love that song.
Great tune, all of Glass Houses.
Yeah,
and
that's the first album that got me onto Billy Joel. Was Glass Houses.
Yeah,
my favorite Billy Joel album is Nylon Curtain. But Glenn, when people you see on Twitter all the time, what was the first album you bought with your own money? What was the first album that got you? It's Glass Houses.
Now, Billy Joel is one thing, but I'm a huge Kiss fan.
Okay.
And I as a kid, 8 years old in I was 7 years old in 1979. Now, I went to the store with my parents, and they used to buy me records when I was a kid, and I saw these 4 Faces with makeup on. I said, I want that album. I listened to it. It was the Dynasty album from Kiss.
Yeah.
So I played it. I Was Made for Loving You, Sure Knows Something, a couple of my favorite tracks off that album. Gene Simmons' Charisma, another one. But I didn't know at that time, 7 years old, that they had albums before that. So I started listening to Kiss Alive and the first album and all that stuff, and it became a fan. Also, heavy metal, Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne. I am a very, very, I'm trying to look for the word here, very appreciative of heavy metal music. I mean, I love it, but I also love the R&B and the old school, and I'm well-versed in a lot of types of music. So, I've got a huge record collection of about 4,000 records, 5,000 CDs, and I'm a collector. I love it. I love playing the vinyls, and they sound great.
So you must love, what's that place in Roosevelt Field that now sells the record? Newberry Comics?
Oh, yeah.
Because now they're one of those places now where you can actually go into the store and buy records. Because my kids are like, what is that? I'm like, it's a record.
Yeah, those are newer records pressed on 180-gram vinyl. They sound great. What was a one record set, just one record, is now 2 record set because the grooves are further apart. When the grooves are further apart, the needle reads it, and it's just so superior, the sound. So I'm just an avid fan of different types of music, and like I said, mostly heavy metal. I like to kind of sing in the car every day to music and really get the vocals up, and even before a public address announcing, I kind of just sing a little bit, or talk a little bit just to warm up. Some people don't do it. Some people prepare differently for public address. So, but for music, I'll never sing the songs that we're going to sing in that gig that day. Like I'll warm up to Air Supply or something like that. I
like Air Supply. People find that. See, people find my music interest very strange because, like, if you looked at my a mix on YouTube or my iPod that I used to have, like it would be like everywhere from like hard rock to I like Barry Manilow.
Yeah. And there was one instance before a gig, my friend was saying, dude, what are you singing Air Supply for? I said, I'm warming up. He hears me in the background going like, how many times will I think about? I said, what are you doing singing Sweet Dreams from Air Supply? Okay. I'm warming up here. I don't want to sing the songs we're going to sing that night.
That's awesome. We have some business to take care of here. I want to get you involved in this. What's hot at ticketbash.com. Tonight, St. John's hosting Marquette at the Garden. Tomorrow, the Rangers host the Senators. The Devils host the Kraken. Upcoming shows and concerts at your home, UBS Arena, January 29th. Rascal Flatts. Can you do a little Rascal Flatts? Life is a Highway? No?
Well, that was originally done by Tom Cochran.
Yes. But
Red
Rascal
Rider.
Flatts did it for Cars, which is like one of Bradley's favorite movies.
Yeah, I don't do a Rascal Flatts impersonation.
Okay.
But, life is a highway.
There you go. The Harlem Globetrotters are at Barclays Center February 15th. Monday Night Raw, WWE returning to the Garden on March 30th. Ticketbash.com, the best site to go to for all of those events, plus the NFL playoffs, Super Bowl packages, the college football playoff national championship game. Get the best seats at the best prices with no service fees at ticketbash.com. It's time for the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day, Alex. It is brought to us by the Embassy Diner here in Bethpage, or down the block on 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Every customer is considered family at the Embassy Diner. Mention Sports Bash, and get a free dessert with your meal. So the next time you're at the Embassy Diner, say hello to Gus, the owner, tell him you were an FOP, and you mentioned Sports Bash, you get a great dessert with your meal. We post a new poll question every Tuesday and Thursday on our X and Twitter page. Here's the question for today. What will Aaron Rodgers be doing in 2026? Will he be playing for the Steelers? Will he be playing for another NFL team? Will he announce his retirement from the NFL? You are our guest of honor today. You go first.
My guess is that he will retire.
Retire. Charlie, back there?
Retire.
Tony, retire. It's a unit, which is really odd, especially when there's at least 4 people here in the room, for multiple people to all agree on the question. It's usually different, but we got all in unison there that he will retire. Time for the Coach's Collectibles item of the week. It's this Joe Namath 16 by 20 autographed photo. Coach's Collectibles, your number one source for 100% authentic sports memorabilia and live public autograph events. Check them out online at www.coachescollectiblesny.com and use code SPORTSBASH for free shipping on all your orders. Alex, do you know what yesterday was the anniversary of?
I do
January 12th.
I do not.
57 years ago yesterday, January 12th. Does that ring a bell?
Does not ring a bell.
Charlie knows. Do you know what it was?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Jets Super Bowl victory.
Yes, Jets. Yesterday, the 57th anniversary of the Jets Super Bowl III win over the Colts. It was January 12th, 1969. Here is the only Jets touchdown in that 16-7 win at the Orange Bowl.
Right, Kurt, and it's going to be a tough defense to hit up straight on. The slants probably would be more effective.
And he may go. He's in there. Snell scores.
Here's that play again. Namath taking that ball from center. That slant play Al was talking about. And look at that blocking along the line. Great blocking. Winston Hill, Bob Talamini. Number 53, Dennis Gorbass, a little late on the tackle.
That was Kurt Gowdy, Al DeRogatis, and Kyle Rote on NBC. Matt Snell had the only touchdown, and a lot of Jet fans will think I'm nuts, but I was a year and a half old when that game took place. It's not like I have vivid memories of watching it live. I don't, but I do have the DVD at home, and I have watched it multiple times. I've watched it when like NFL Network has showed it, and this may go against the grain of how a lot of Jet fans feel, but I don't think Joe Namath should have been the MVP that day. I think it should have been the guy who scored that touchdown, Matt Snell, who rushed for 121 yards and that touchdown, and Randy Beverly had 2 interceptions in that game. So that was what happened yesterday, 57 years ago. Amazing, right?
That is quite a few years. Yeah,
it's not that long. What's 57 years among friends? Yeah, I'm only waiting 57 years for that to happen again. Before we say goodbye, a couple of announcements. Coming up Thursday, I'm going to be joined by Steve Mayer, the NHL's president of content and events. We'll talk about the upcoming NHL Stadium Series game in Tampa that has drawn some controversy already. We'll talk to him about that. The 2026 NHL Draft has been awarded to Buffalo. And, of course, next year, the 2027 NHL All-Star Game is going to be right here on Long Island at UBS Arena. I can't wait to hear you do the PA announcing for the All-Star Game next year.
That should be exciting.
That's going to be awesome. Have you done it? I know you've done a baseball All-Star Game. Any other All-Star games besides that? Will this be your first? This will be your first hockey one, right?
Yeah,
be your first hockey one. That's going to be awesome because you've got the best players in the world are going to be playing in that game. I mean, we don't know what the format's going to look like yet, but that's going to be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it'll be exciting right here at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on Tuesday, January 20th, I'll be joined by Todd Tryon, the commissioner of the Indoor Football League. Tuesday, January 27th, my guest will be David Clark, who is a Billy Joel tribute performer. He'll team with Elton John tribute performer Bill Connors for the second annual Piano Man Yellow Brick Joel tribute concert, Friday, January 30th at Westbury Music Fair. So before I say goodbye, we're in the midst of this amazing, surprising Islander season. I don't think anybody could have, even with a new GM and the team last year just missed out on making the playoffs. I don't think anybody could have thought. There was all this excitement about Matthew Schaefer and everybody. But this has been a blessing to watch the way this team has not just played on the ice, but also you saw what they just did at Anders Lee's house during the off day in Minnesota, skating on the ice in the back of his house. This must be a cool feeling for you, because there's been so many great wins at home this year. To be the PA announcer and see this team coming together so quickly in front of our eyes, it's been awesome, right?
Yeah, from doing public address, it's the same approach every game. Win or lose, you got to bring the energy, and this year the energy is there. Announcing the names and hearing the fans react, it's just a thrill. And again, it's a real pleasure and honor to work with the New York Islanders organization, and I'm just having a lot of fun, and I'm really appreciative of the job.
In addition to thanking you, I do want to thank the Islanders too, because it's amazing when you have friends that are in the business. It's not just as easy always as saying, "Hey, you want to come down and spend some time with me in the studio?" Sometimes there's some hoops you have to jump through. So I have a great relationship with the Islanders as well. So I want to thank the Islanders for allowing this to happen today, because as we've talked about this for a while, and the fact that we finally had a chance to do this has been pretty awesome, and I'm glad we got to do it.
Me as well, Peter.
Alex, I will see you. When is the next Islander home game after this road trip?
January 24th
against the Sabres, and they've been hot. So we got to smoke them that day. We got to calm them down a little bit.
Well, they've got some games on the road here. I'll be watching. I'm also
Winnipeg
a fan.
tonight. Tonight, yeah. And Winnipeg, they lost to Winnipeg earlier in the year when Winnipeg was on fire. Now Winnipeg has been slumping a little bit, so maybe the Islanders will catch them at the right time tonight.
Let's hope so.
Let's go Islanders. Alex, my friend, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for bringing Charlie too.
Yeah,
he didn't bring any pucks to throw over the glass today, though. I'm a little disappointed about that.
He came empty-handed.
Charlie, it was good to see you too. Thank you, my friend, for coming by. That will do it for today's edition of Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com and Ryan Anthony's Heating and Air Conditioning Service. Thanks to my FOP, the friend of Peter, Alex Anthony. Thanks to Tony Walker, everyone here at Governors. Thanks to our social media coordinator, Leanne Burgess. Sports Bash is sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, Coach's Collectibles, and by the Marty Lyons Foundation. Thank you to everyone for watching and listening. Sports Bash is back next Thursday, or this coming Thursday at 1 o'clock with another big show. Have a great day, everybody.